Hello, everybody. My name is Marissa Henderson, and today I'm going to demonstrate to you the purchase order process in Acumatica. So today we're going to look at a few different things. We're going to look at doing a purchase requisition. We're going to take that requisition and have it convert and create a purchase order. Once that purchase order is created and the goods are received, we are going to receive them here in the purchase order receipt screen. And then we're going to move on over to the payables workspace and look at that receipt and how the bill is created. So we're going to start here under purchase requisitions and click this plus sign. And just as a little disclaimer, as we're getting into this video, I just want to let everybody know that the terminology and the processes that we're doing today, like we're demonstrating, is based on construction. So if you see a lot of these processes or hear this terminology and think maybe Acumatica is more geared to construction, that is not the case at all. We have quite a number of customers that are not construction based. However, I just want to give you that heads up so you're aware of how and why this video is going in this specific direction. All right, so requisitions. Here in my summary section, I'm going to fill out some details. So I'm going to enter in a customer. So I'm going to choose Baker Development as my customer. And I'm going to give it a description. So let's see, requests for PO on the Jordan High School project. Once I filled out my summary section and the needed information, I'm going to move on down here to details and click this plus sign. Now here I can add in the details of what I would like to request for my purchase order by going row by row. However, I can also click on add items. Now, when I click on add items, it is going to pull up my stock items. So my stock items are things that I have as a company that I sell to my customers. Acumatica has an inventory feature, and we see that workspace down here in the bottom left-hand corner. And our inventory consists of stock items, but it also consists of non-stock items. So a non-stock item is maybe something that I offer to my customer that is not necessarily a physical product. So for example, consulting, it could be surveying, it could be anything like that, some sort of a service that we offer. The non-stock item feature in Acumatica is very flexible. It doesn't always have to even be a service. I can use a non-stock item to create things like mileage and use it in my expense claims. So say, maybe, for example, the mileage is 56 cents per mile. Instead of having my employees mistakenly put in the wrong amount, I can establish a non-stock item, set it up in the system, and all they have to put in is the number of miles. So as they choose the non-stock item called mileage, it is already going to pull in that specific amount, and they just have to say how many miles they went, and the system will calculate the correct reimbursement for them. So the non-stock item is a very flexible feature. It can be used across many different workspaces in Acumatica. So you want to keep that in mind. Today, we are doing a purchase order based on a stock inventory. So when I use that, I'm going to choose add items. And now I'm looking in my physical inventory that I have as a company. So let's see what we have here. So let's see, do we have anything for HVAC? No, we don't have anything for HVAC. What do we have? Maybe we can search from the filter up here. Maybe we can scroll across. Let's scroll through and see what we got. See what we're going to do a purchase order for. So let's say we're going to pull in some things, maybe flooring. Let's filter by doing flooring. So let's say epoxy flooring, exactly what I want. So let's choose that. And while I'm in this screen, if I select this little button right here, it's automatically going to put 1 as a quantity. I can actually update that here instead of once I pull it in here. So I could say maybe we're going to do 560 items, add it and close. So now I have my quantity all listed here, and I just have to give it a cost. Now, keep in mind, just for the demo, I have it set to, I don't have a cost specific here yet. I can actually put it here on my stock item so that that price will always pull in. So you do have that flexibility. So I'm going to say it's this amount. And once I have a unit of measure, an order quantity, as well as an estimated unit cost, it will pull in my estimated extended cost, which is the total amount that I'm estimating. Okay. So once I have that in the system, in my details section, I'm going to come over here to shipping. So here I can come in and, distinguish or tell the system rather where I want this item to ship to. Do I want it to go to the branch that I have set up for me in the system, which is strategies group? Do I want to send it to the customer directly, a vendor, or a warehouse? So I'm going to say I'm going to send it to the customer. And I'm going to send it to Baker Development. And I also have the option of choosing a location. So on my customer record, I can have one address with multiple locations. So that's a nice feature if you have different locations for the same customer. Next, I'm going to come here to my bidding tab. So in Acumatica, you do have the option of doing vendor bidding. So vendor bidding is we have a requisition, whether operations or the customer requests something, you can go in and use that feature of bidding in Acumatica and have vendors bid on this particular item. However, you don't have to do that. So for today's demonstration, we're not going to do vendor bidding. We're just going to tell the system based on what we know, we want one vendor in here. So let's choose our vendor. So we're doing flooring. So let's look for Floor Masters. They are going to be the one that we are creating a purchase order for. So I have my vendor in here, and then I'm going to go to vendor information. So here I can update their contact information as well as their address. I can change terms if I need to, but here I'm also going to pay attention to the PO type. Once I release this requisition, what type of purchase order do I want to pull in? So you have 4 available to you, but we are actually going to create a purchase order and have it drop ship directly to the job site, directly to that location we have set up in the system. Okay. Once I do that, I'm going to save my requisition. You'll notice my status is on hold here. Remove my hold. And now I have a status of pending quote. What that means is it's trying to get me to do a quote. We've already decided who my vendor is, so I don't need to do that. I'm going to say we marked it as quoted, and now it's in the open status. So because it's in the open status, I can move forward and create my order, create my purchase order. So once the system pulls in all of the information from the requisition, my status changed to release. And if I click on purchase orders, I'm going to see the actual purchase order that was generated based on this physical requisition. So here's my purchase order. My type, it is a drop ship purchase order, and here's my purchase order number. All right. Now keep in mind in Acumatica, whenever you see blue or blue with an underline, that means it is a hyperlink. So I can click on this and it will automatically take me to the purchase order screen to this specific purchase order. All right. Now I personally like to be in the window, so I'm going to come back here to the purchases workspace, go to my purchase orders, and click on my actual drop ship purchase order for Floor Masters. So now that I'm in here, all of the details that we put, the 560 for that cost and this amount is already completed for me. I don't have to do very much else. The only thing I want to do is I want to make sure and update my project. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to take the status from open and shift it to on hold. Once I do that, I'm going to come in here and change it to the specific project. So I'm going to say this is for the Jordan High School project. I'm going to give it a project task and give it a cost code. So I'm going to have this go to the flooring treatment cost code. Now in Acumatica, you have a couple of different things you want to be mindful of. You have error messages and you have warning messages. So if I was to highlight over this, if it's yellow, it's a warning. So green go, yellow warning, red stop. Okay. If I have an actual red error message, I cannot move forward. I have to fix something before I can move forward with my purchase order. If I have a warning message, it's just giving me a heads up about the details of this particular transaction. You may not be aware of it, so let me just give you a heads up, but I will still allow you to move forward with what you wish to do. Okay, just a warning message, not going to stop anything. I'm already aware. So I'm going to save my purchase order, remove my hold, and now it's in the open status. The open status of a purchase order in Acumatica means I can begin to receive the goods on this purchase order. Or if I'm not doing a receipt of some kind, I can begin to enter AP bills against it. Okay, but for today's demo purposes, we are doing a purchase receipt. So if you notice here, I have a green button that says enter purchase receipt. Awesome. I can also come here to the purchases workspace and create a purchase receipt and pull in the details from the purchase order. However, a wonderful feature about Acumatica is that a lot of screens will take you to the next logical step for you. So just like we saw, we created a purchase requisition and it automatically created a purchase order, and we had very little we had to do. It automatically did it for me. The same thing, I've created a purchase order based on the requisition, and now it has automatically pulled in all of the details for my purchase receipt. Perfect. So from here, let's look at a couple of things. I have my order quantity listed here, and I have my receipt quantity listed here. It will automatically assume that you are receiving all of your goods. Now, if a part of your order is back order, if maybe it was all sent at the same time, but maybe a few items got damaged and you didn't actually receive it, you had to return it, you can lower the receipt quantity by double clicking in that field and only receive the goods you actually keep. Okay, but for today's purposes, we're going to receive everything. And you also have an option to set up your Acumatica instance to receive a bill at the same time. Wow, this is awesome. Love this feature. I used to be a project accountant, and it is a lot nicer to use a system that will have you do things for you without recreating the same wheel. So we are going to create a purchase requisition. It automatically made my purchase order, and it automatically did my purchase receipt, and it will automatically create the bill for me as long as I choose create bill. So I'm going to leave that there and click vendor reference. My vendor reference is the actual invoice. So I'm going to say my invoice number is this, save my purchase receipt, and I'm going to click release. Now, what the system is doing is it is receiving the goods, and at the very same time, it is creating the actual AP bill. I have my demo site configured to where it receives the goods and creates the bill all the way through completion. So once this is enabled, if I come here to payables and click on bills and adjustments, or I can come here to the billing tab, I can click on my actual reference number and my AP bill is automatically in the system. The goods are received. I can see this is my inventory ID. This is the original purchase order, and this is my original purchase receipt. And I received all of them, and they're in the open status. The open status for my bills and adjustments means it's ready for the next check run. That is phenomenal. So just as a quick recap, in one step, we created a purchase requisition, which automatically created a dropship purchase order. It automatically created a purchase receipt, and it automatically created an AP bill in the open status. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you would like a live demonstration, or if you have any more questions, please reach out to your sales rep and they will be very happy to help you. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video.